Welcome to CEO's Library, the 1% Bookshelf. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a management classic that might just turn everything you thought you knew about leadership on its head. What if I told you that everything you've been taught about being a great manager is wrong, that the conventional wisdom we've all been following might actually be holding us back from unlocking our team's true potential? Buckle up, because we're about to explore the groundbreaking insights from First, Break All the Rules: What the World's Greatest Managers Do Differently by Marcus Buckingham and Kurt Kaufman. This book, based on extensive Gallup research, reveals the 12 simple questions that separate truly exceptional managers from the rest. Whether you're an executive, a team leader, or an aspiring manager, the next 30 minutes could revolutionize your approach to leadership and skyrocket your team's performance. But before we dive in, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two retail stores. They are part of the same company, sell the same products, and operate under the same policies. On paper, they should be identical. But the reality couldn't be more different. In Store A, there's a buzz in the air. Employees are engaged, customers are smiling, and sales are through the roof. The manager knows each team member by name, understands their strengths, and seems to have a knack for bringing out the best in everyone. This store consistently outperforms its targets, has low turnover, and is a favorite among customers. Now, let's step into Store B. The atmosphere is different. Employees seem disengaged, customer service is lackluster, and sales are struggling. The manager is always in their office, buried in paperwork, and rarely interacts with the team. Turnover is high, and customer complaints are common. What's the difference between these two stores? It's not the products, the location, or even the employees themselves. The critical differentiator is the manager. And this isn't just anecdotal. It's backed by hard data. Gallup's research, which forms the backbone of First, Break All the Rules, found that the manager accounts for a whopping 70% of the variance in team engagement. That's right. Your immediate supervisor has more impact on your work life than company policies, benefits, or even your salary. This revelation is at the heart of why understanding great management is so crucial. So, what exactly are these mythical great managers doing differently? Buckingham and Kaufman distilled it down to 4 key principles. First, they select for talent. Instead of focusing solely on experience or skills, great managers look for the innate recurring patterns of thought, feeling, or behavior that can be productively applied. They understand that while skills and knowledge can be taught, talents are enduring and much harder to change. Second, they define the right outcomes. Rather than micromanaging every step of the process, exceptional managers clearly communicate what needs to be achieved, and then give their team members the freedom to find their own path to success. Third, they focus on strengths. Instead of trying to fix weaknesses, great managers position people to use their natural talents and find ways to manage around their limitations. And fourth, they find the right fit. They understand that not everyone is cut out for every role, and they work tirelessly to match people's talents with the right positions. These 4 keys might sound simple, but they fly in the face of conventional management wisdom. And that's exactly why they're so powerful. Now, let's dive into the heart of the book, the 12 questions that can predict business unit performance. These questions aren't just feel-good fluff. They're directly linked to hard business outcomes like productivity, profitability, employee retention, and customer satisfaction. Buckingham and Kaufman organized these questions into 4 stages of employee engagement, which they liken to climbing a mountain. Let's start at base camp, which addresses the fundamental question: what do I get? The first question is deceptively simple. Do I know what's expected of me at work? It sounds basic, but you'd be surprised how many employees can't give a clear answer. Great managers ensure that every team member has crystal clear expectations. They don't just hand out a job description and call it a day. They have ongoing conversations about roles, responsibilities, and how individual work contributes to the bigger picture. The second base camp question is, do I have the materials and equipment I need to do my work right? Again, it seems obvious, but it's often overlooked. This isn't just about having a functioning computer or the right tools. It's about having access to the information, resources, and support needed to excel in the role. Great managers are always asking, what obstacles can I remove? What resources can I provide to help my team succeed? Moving up to Camp 1, we address the question, what do I give? This is where engagement starts to deepen, and it's covered by 4 crucial questions. First, at work, do I have the opportunity to do what I do best every day? This question is at the core of the strength-based approach to management. Great managers understand that people are most engaged, productive, and fulfilled when they're using their natural talents. They don't try to force square pegs into round holes. Instead, they find ways to shape roles around people's strengths. Next, in the last 7 days, have I received recognition or praise for doing good work? Notice the specificity here, not just, do you ever get recognition, but in the last 7 days. Great managers make recognition a frequent, ongoing practice, not just an annual event. They understand that timely, specific praise is a powerful motivator and reinforcer of good performance. The third question in Camp 1 is, does my supervisor or someone at work seem to care about me as a person? This isn't about being best friends with your employees. It's about recognizing their humanity, understanding their personal circumstances, and showing genuine interest in their well-being. Great managers know that people don't check their personal lives at the door when they come to work, and they find appropriate ways to support their team members as whole people. The final question in Camp 1 is there someone at work who encourages my development? Great managers don't just focus on today's performance. They invest in their people's growth. They have regular conversations about career aspirations, provide stretch assignments, and create opportunities for learning and advancement. As we climb higher, we reach Camp 2, which addresses the question, do I belong here? This is where team dynamics and organizational culture come into play. The first question at this level is, at work, do my opinions seem to count? Great managers create an environment where people feel heard and valued. They actively solicit input from their team members and, crucially, they act on good ideas. This doesn't mean they implement every suggestion, but they always give serious consideration to employee input. Next, we have, does the mission or purpose of my company make me feel my job is important? This question taps into the human need for meaning and purpose. Great managers help their team members see the connection between their daily work and the broader mission of the organization. They paint a compelling picture of how each person's contribution matters. The third question in Camp 2 is, are my coworkers committed to doing quality work? This question reflects the power of peer influence. Great managers foster a culture of excellence where high standards are the norm. They don't tolerate mediocrity, and they ensure that strong performers aren't brought down by less committed team members. The final question in Camp 2 might surprise you. Do I have a best friend at work? This doesn't mean everyone needs to be best buddies, but it does highlight the importance of strong social connections at work. Great managers create opportunities for team bonding and encourage supportive relationships among team members. Finally, we reach Camp 3, which addresses the question, how can we all grow? This is the summit of employee engagement, where people are not just satisfied with their current situation, but are actively looking to improve and innovate. The first question at this level is, in the last 6 months, has someone at work talked to me about my progress? Great managers don't wait for annual reviews to discuss performance. They have frequent ongoing conversations about progress, goals, and development. The last question is, this last year, have I had opportunities at work to learn and grow? Great managers are always looking for ways to challenge their team members and help them develop new skills and capabilities. They understand that growth is a key driver of long-term engagement and performance. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but it goes against everything I've been taught about management. And you'd be right. That's why the book is called First Break All the Rules. Let's look at some of the conventional wisdom that great managers reject. First, there's the idea that anyone can be anything they want to be if they just try hard enough. Great managers know this isn't true. They understand that each person has innate talents that are hard to change. Instead of trying to mold people into a predetermined ideal, they find ways to leverage each person's unique strengths. Then there's the common practice of focusing on weaknesses in performance reviews and development plans. Great managers flip this on its head. They primarily focus on strengths, finding ways to make good performance even better. They manage around weaknesses rather than trying to fix them. Another piece of conventional wisdom is the golden rule. Treat others as you would want to be treated. Sounds good, right? But great managers know that different people have different needs and motivations. Instead, they follow the platinum rule: treat others as they want to be treated. Let me give you a real-world example of how this plays out. Imagine you have two top-performing salespeople on your team. The first, let's call her Sarah, is highly competitive. She's motivated by seeing her name at the top of the leaderboard and loves public recognition. The second, let's call him Mike, is an achiever. He's driven by personal goals and prefers private acknowledgement of his successes. A conventional manager might treat both Sarah and Mike the same way, perhaps giving them both public praise in team meetings. But a great manager would recognize their different motivations. They'd make sure Sarah's successes are prominently displayed and celebrated publicly. For Mike, they might have a one-on-one meeting to acknowledge his achievements and discuss how he's tracking against his personal goals. This individualized approach extends to all aspects of management. Great managers don't use one-size-fits-all development plans or motivation strategies. They take the time to understand each team member's unique talents, motivations, and needs, and they tailor their approach accordingly. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds like a lot of work. I don't have time to cater to each employee's individual needs. But here's the thing: great managers don't see this as extra work. They see it as the core of their job. They understand that their primary role is to turn talent into performance, and they know that the only way to do that effectively is to treat each person as an individual. Let's go back to our tale of two stores. The manager in Store A isn't just lucky to have better employees. They've created an environment where people can thrive. They've selected people with the right talents for their roles. They've clearly communicated expectations and provided the necessary resources. They focus on each person's strengths and find ways to use those strengths every day. They give frequent recognition in ways that resonate with each individual. They foster a sense of belonging and purpose, and they provide ongoing opportunities for growth and development. The result? Engaged employees who are more productive, provide better customer service, and are less likely to leave. And all of this translates directly to better business outcomes. So, what can you do to start applying these insights in your own work? Here are a few practical steps. First, start with yourself. Take some time to reflect on your own talents. What patterns of thought, feeling, or behavior do you see recurring in your life? What activities energize you? What kinds of problems do you enjoy solving? Understanding your own strengths will help you be a more authentic and effective leader. Next, get to know your team members as individuals. Have one-on-one conversations that go beyond just task updates. Ask about their aspirations, what they enjoy most about their work, and what they find challenging. Listen for clues about their unique talents and motivations. Then, look for opportunities to align people's roles with their strengths. This doesn't necessarily mean changing job descriptions, but it might mean adjusting responsibilities or approaches within existing roles. For example, if you have a team member who's great at building relationships but struggles with detailed paperwork, can you pair them with someone who has complementary strengths? Make a commitment to provide more frequent, individualized recognition. Remember, it's not about big gestures. Small, specific, timely acknowledgments can be incredibly powerful. Just make sure you're recognizing people in ways that resonate with them personally. Finally, use the 12 questions as a framework for assessing and improving engagement in your team. You don't need to formally survey your team, although that can be valuable. Just keeping these questions in mind as you interact with your team members can help you identify areas for improvement. Remember, becoming a great manager isn't about perfection. It's about consistently applying these principles over time. It's about creating an environment where people can bring their best selves to work every day. And it's about breaking free from conventional wisdom to find what really works for your unique team. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought from First, Break All the Rules. The authors write, "People don't change that much. Don't waste time trying to put in what was left out. Try to draw out what was left in. That is hard enough." This simple insight is at the heart of great management. It's about recognizing and leveraging the unique talents of each individual, rather than trying to mold everyone into a preconceived ideal. It's about creating a workplace where people don't just survive, but truly thrive. So, are you ready to break some rules? Are you ready to challenge conventional wisdom and discover what truly drives engagement and performance in your team? The journey of great management starts with a single step, and that step is often simply asking the right questions. Thank you for joining me on CEO's Library, the 1% Bookshelf. If you found value in today's episode, I encourage you to pick up a copy of First Break All the Rules by Marcus Buckingham and Kurt Kaufman. You'll find a link to the book in the episode description. And remember, you can find the full transcript and accompanying visualizations for this episode at ceoslibrary.com. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to break a few rules along the way. This is CEO's Library signing off.